Welcome to I'll Be There, the ultimate wedding podcast by Priya
and Nim
from Pristine Events. Whether you're a bride-to-be
or a groom gearing up
or just a wedding lover at heart, we've got you.
Welcome, friends, to another episode of I'll Be There. I'm Nim and this is RoboCop.
Why can't... These are in fashion. They're not Iron Man glasses and they're not RoboCop glasses. I get loads of compliment on these glasses, okay? And most importantly, they really hide the bags under my eyes that I'm currently dealing with from tiredness.
Okay.
Do you think I look cute?
You look very cute.
Thank you.
Wink at the camera.
I can't wink, you know this.
Okay, blink at the camera.
Please don't
We'll edit from one camera side so it looks like you're winking. So this episode we're going to be talking about the other half of AV, so the V, visuals. Because last episode we got a bit carried away. We actually knew a lot more about sound than I think we thought we did.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you know what it is? We don't know the technical side of things, and I'll hold my hands up. If you ask me about the different types of speakers, I don't have a clue.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think you do. I think hopefully the sound people do, but nobody else really does in the wedding.
Yeah.
But they know what they want it to sound like, and we know what works and what doesn't work from a planning point of view. So I think it's fair enough for us to give our 2 cents on that.
Yeah.
So let's give our other 2 cents on visuals, on lighting.
Yeah. Lighting, like I said last time, is something you really should invest in. I think especially if you're doing trying to do like a high quality event and you spent a lot on your decor, lighting is like the finishing touch that will really elevate it. Let's go through the day again and then just see like where lighting is relevant. I know it would generally be the reception.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to think about if there are any other parts of the day that it's needed for before we go into the reception, where obviously it's mainly for that. So breakfast or brunch, I'm assuming you won't need any, just use the venue lighting.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen people set up lighting in the eating area.
No. Then we have got the ceremony.
Yeah. So the ceremony, I think, is a really important part because, especially for, your photos, you have good lighting.
Yeah.
And so on your stage, on your mandap, on your ceremony area, you do need to have some form of lighting. The photographers will always bring their own sort of lighting stand to kind of give that extra bit of lighting. But you're on stage as the most important people in that room, so the lighting needs to reflect that accordingly. Yeah.
I think a big thing to think about is if your venue has, like, if the room that you're getting married in, what the natural light in that room is like. Has it got huge windows? Has it got sky, like a big skylight? For example, at Offley, it's got that beautiful skylight lit in the middle, so you have so much daylight in that room. You don't really need to add much.
I think it's with the older buildings.
Yeah.
There's kind of traditional manor house type buildings. Those are the ones where, you need something to light up the actual stage itself, because the rest of the room is like normally like kind of wooden. Like dark and moody, slightly.
Yeah, dark and moody. Yeah.
So you definitely need lighting. So who would you speak to about that? Like, again, speaking from a planning perspective and a prospective couples, like when you get to a venue, like, okay, great, I love this place. Would you speak to your decor company about that?
Yeah, so I think normally I would speak to decor first and figure out what their plans are in terms of like what they're doing. Like, are they doing aisle decor? Are they doing decor at the back? Are they doing just decor at the front where the altar or the mandap or the main backdrop arches, etc. Once figured that out, we'll then ask, are you going to do any... Sometimes a lot of decor companies will do little uplighters on the actual ceremony area just to like give that extra pop for decor. So I'll ask about that. Sometimes, you get like the backdrops and they have the hanging chandeliers. So we'll just check that they actually will be turned on and they're not just for like decorative purposes. I'll speak to decor about it. If they're not providing any, or if they recommend to have some but then they can't do it, then obviously we'll speak to AV, so whoever's doing the evening. Normally, for example, if you're having uplighters for the evening anyway, then you can just use them in the day and then just reuse them for the evening. So we'll have that conversation, but you can, like exactly as you said, you can normally tell when you walk into a space this is going to need lighting or not. And it is normally the manor houses or the very, like, the ones with the really heavy curtains, lots of draping everywhere, so it's very dark. Also, I think what's important is the time of year you're getting married. If you're getting married in like autumn, winter, naturally you're going to have less daylight, or at least in the UK, obviously. You've generally got quite grey outdoor lighting coming in, so you might need something to just kind of give the space a bit of an oomph, basically. Whereas in summer, normally it's quite bright, so you're fine. So yeah, I think just speak to decor and then see what they recommend and speak to your planner and then obviously speak to AV and see if you've got something for the evening, can it be repurposed?
Yeah.
All about being cost effective.
Yeah, that's very you being cost effective. It's like how I'd sum you up. Cost effective.
I think so. My coat today is reversible. That if that's not cost effective, I don't know what
Your
is.
brand new coat is reversible.
Yeah, it's 2 coats for the price of one. That is real girl math. Okay?
That is girl math.
It is.
People are probably watching this. The 1,000 people who are watching this on Spotify are probably realizing that I'm like mixing and matching clothes that I've worn before, whereas they're like, "Oh wow, Priya had a new outfit for every
I
episode."
don't. None of this is new. I re-wore these glasses like 3 episodes ago, okay?
Yeah, that's true.
Hashtag practical. Anyway, so back to that. So ceremony, just look at the space, look at the time of year, and look at the natural light.
Yeah.
Drinks reception.
I think it depends on where it is, right? If it's indoors or outdoors.
Yeah.
I think regardless, like your drinks reception is probably going to be in the evening, so you're going to need some sort of extra lighting or additional lighting.
Yeah.
Because if you're in even if you're in a room with like a lot of natural light, or it doesn't have natural light, but they have like I don't know the venue's normal lighting, like you don't want it to look like clinical. You want it to kind of set the tone.
Yeah.
And I think you should definitely speak to your AB team about like basic things like the uplighters, just like dotted around the room. It just gives a better kind of feel to the room.
Why don't we explain what uplighters are, people that may not know?
Uplighters are those lights which you kind of plot around the room. They normally don't need their own power supply. But they're connected. I don't know how they connect to each other, but they come in like a box.
Yeah.
And they program them beforehand so that they all you change one and they change all of them.
Yeah.
And you can get them to kind of like flash at a single time, or you can get them to like do various things at different points.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can just dot them around the room.
And you can make them any color as well, which is cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it gives an evening look. I always feel really like a lot of pressure because a lot of the time in turnaround, we're the ones that are like.
Yeah, because they've never asked, the couple haven't asked or they haven't spoken to the AV team.
Yeah.
They know they've got uplighters, and then suddenly the AV team will be like, "Do you want it to be this color or this color? Do you want it to be pink or white?" I'm like, that's actually quite a big decision because that's going to change like the entirety of the event. And once it's already started, if you then suddenly change the colors of the lights during the event, it just it's a bit
odd. Yeah. And it's a lot of pressure to make that decision. But that being said, the amount of times that we've been somewhere and whatever they've currently put is so bad. Like I was at a wedding recently and the whole vibe was like, I think it was like whites, golds, and then they did uplighters as neon blue. And I was like, guys, what is this? And they were like, oh, we're just left as what it is. And I was like, no, this needs to change. Like if everything's quite neutral, you need to go for like a warm white or like a very neutral color or like a really pale orange, not like neon blue. It looks so bad. So luckily I was there to make that decision because sometimes whatever it's programmed at, they'll just like leave it out unless they've been told otherwise. So yeah, I think again, have that conversation with your AV company, show them your decor, and then be like, with the uplighting, what would you suggest? Or unless ask decor as well, because they're
I think ask decor to be honest, because they know what's gonna bring to life their decor.
Yeah.
And like they'll normally match the decor to the venue, and I think they're better placed to bring things together.
Yeah. Speaking of uplighters though, another thing that you can use them for, as well as just dotting them around the room, but I think people forget about is like to uplight certain features. Like for example, recently when we did that wedding in the Cotswolds, and there was a really big tree. We did the uplights at the bottom of the tree so it like lit it up. And similarly for like stationaries, if you've got like a lot of couples these days are opting for the huge like massive seating plans. So it's great to put some uplighters on them to really like emphasize it. Also any other key statement bits of decor, like I think you can also use it and it just adds another layer to it. So I think that's also key for your drinks reception as well. And if you were doing it outdoors, there are certain things you can put it in, like near a fountain or like near a cool wall.
One thing we didn't mention actually, like especially if you're leaving the venue, like in between events, right? Say you've got a single day event and then you've got like the ceremony in the morning and lunch, then people go home and then they come back. I think having uplighters outside the venue, especially if it's like an epic manor house, like that will completely transform. Like, again, going back to that Cotswolds wedding that we did in Pitsezinco, that looked so epic at night time with the uplighter because it just like really brought to life the venue. And even though we didn't actually use the inside of the venue, it just made it seem very, very cool.
That's a really key point.
Fantastic, I might say.
You've said both words now and it's been like 5 minutes of the episode. But that's a really key point. And I think especially if you've got a really pretty building, like you said, it's good to use it. And like we used it at Q. And I remember at the time being like, why are we paying to be outside of the building that no one's really going to see?
Yeah.
But actually, when you come out, lots of people come out to like smoke or to just have a chat or to have a drink and just sit and have a break from dancing. And it looks so epic.
Yeah.
So I definitely think, yeah, like investing in uplighting the building, especially if it's an epic building, will just, yeah, create an extra wow factor and good photo opportunity. And, I'm all about those. Okay, cool. Anything else to drink reception, or is that kind of everything?
No, I think that's everything.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
I think, look, ultimately with lighting, your main focus, and rightly so, is probably in the reception.
Yeah.
So talk about the reception. What lighting would you recommend? Like, uplighters are a minimum, right?
Yes, minimum. And they normally do quite a lot. So normally they'll go from anywhere to like, when we do events, depending on the size of the room, from like 12 to like 24, I'd say average, but can be more, can be less. But they just, like you said, get plotted around the corners of the room. And when they're all on at the same time, it just creates a different vibe. Other lighting, again, I don't know the technical terms, but next to the DJ, you have like the moving headlights, which are like the ones that obviously move and they go around and they're creating the actual dance, the dance vibe, the dancing vibe. Whereas sometimes people think, oh, my DJ's bringing lights, so that's fine. And yeah, he's bringing the moving headlights, or he might bring, what are they called? Those like big flower things. They look like flowers.
The hexagon thing.
Yeah. They're really cool.
Should really look this up.
Yeah, so they're really cool. And then the moving headlights, but that's just for the dance floor.
Yeah.
That's not room lighting, and that's where the difference is.
Yeah.
Your DJ might come with a basic package where he's like, I provide lighting, but it literally is just those two things. It's not going to make any impact to the decor or the rest of how your room looks. So that's a big thing. The other thing that you can consider, I think we had this at our wedding at Q, is that little pin lights on the table. So it's just in the middle of the table. It's quite small, and it just like lights the centerpiece up of your table as well, which is really important.
I remember.
I don't think you really had loads to do with the lighting side of it.
So, I basically planned it single-handedly.
No, you didn't. I don't know what your forte was there. I think it was the alcohol and the food. But yeah, lighting, I was umming and ahhing about the pin lights, but I actually thought, you know what, like, because Q didn't have a lot of inbuilt lighting in the venue, I was like, I think it'll be important to have.
But that's the thing. So, like, similar to how we mentioned in the last episode about audio, and there might be like a inbuilt sound system there. Like, a lot of venues have an inbuilt rig, but sometimes that rig is owned by someone else, and that rig might like be for the sound, but it also might be for the lighting as well. But depending on who the company is that you're going with, they might not have the rights, or they might not want to pay to rent out the use of that rig, so they might bring their own lighting system. So you might have gone to a wedding somewhere and been like, and there's a venue in Birmingham that has this, where like it's got a really incredible like lighting and sound system, but that's owned by someone else, not owned by the venue. It's owned by a separate AV company. And if you don't get that AV company, then they then don't have the rights to use those lights. So actually, you might be like, oh, they have great inbuilt lighting, but you might not be able to use that. So check that. Very important.
Yeah.
Very, very important.
Yeah. I think exactly as you said, to look at what lighting the venue has, and some has really good inbuilt ones, some have nothing, especially at the old kind of either manor houses or the like protected sites like Q. They won't have a lot because obviously they weren't designed to be wedding venues. So just bear that in mind.
Because also like some of these like lighting systems and also the sound systems, they need to like hook onto something and mount it onto something. So if they don't have a rig there, and especially in like a listed building, like they're not going to let you put, so everything will be like on a stand. So that might kind of limit your options. But again, like with a lot of the vendors that we've spoken about, if you're picking someone, I think you should try and pick someone who's worked the venue before. They'll know what works and what you can and can't do.
Yeah, exactly. And have a look at previous pictures of receptions and stuff there to see what they've done with the lighting and how they've made the room look. A lot of the newer purpose-built venues, like the one you mentioned in Birmingham, which was the Master Suite, even the one in East Hampstead, which is purpose-built for weddings, that they have these things inbuilt ready, like for weddings, so therefore you can create more of that vibe versus like the older buildings. But you've got, like, so for a reception, let's break it down. And so you've got the DJ lighting we spoke about. Even with that, if you can, don't just go for the basic DJ lighting option, because it will just be those moving heads. Try and get the bigger, they either do like the strip lights at the back, the hexagon flower things, you need to find out the names of these things, but get something else, because especially if you're a party couple and you want the vibe going on the dance floor, I feel like you need a little bit more than just like a couple of little moving heads that are like multicolored.
Yeah. And while we're on the topic, and I think this overlaps with, it is part of AV, visual, doesn't just mean lights, screens.
Yeah.
Screens are, especially in UK weddings, quite a big thing.
How do you feel about screens? Do you like them?
You know what? I used to think that you need a screen for a wedding. And I think certain venues really do need them. Like in my view, like if you're getting married at a hotel in a like one of those their conference rooms, which have like a big capacity, I think you need a screen because there's not a lot of what's a nice way of putting this? There's not a lot of what's the word? Not culture. There's not a lot of character.
Yeah.
Character in that room. And so to try and kind of bring it to life, you do need sort of screens. It's quite a sort of modern room. And then you can put up hopefully something good like your pre-shoot photos or your logo. Like have something to put on the screen if you are going to have a screen. And there are like a million different combinations of screens that you can get. Where you can get like one massive screen, you can get sort of different panels, you can get like circular ones, you can get like shaped ones. It's the options are endless. I think in a hotel type reception venue, I think a screen is a really important thing to have, especially if you have good content to put.
That's what I was just going to say. I think it depends what kind of couple you are and if you are going to use it, because we've done, I think, were you in that wedding with me? I did a wedding recently a few months ago. I don't know, I can't remember if you were with me or not. And they had nothing. They had a screen, but the only thing on there was their logo. They had photos, but they didn't want it to be put up.
Yeah.
So then I was just like,
I was there.
Oh, yeah. So then I was just a bit like, why have you got?
Yeah, but it's then when the dance floor opens, they can put all like that kind of like.
Can I say an ick with screens? I don't want the date cancelled. I'm not pissing them off, but I get it. But I also hate when then people use it as like marketing.
Yeah.
Not just even the DJ, but like sometimes it'll be the.
That was the best when that thing is when the caterer just goes up to the DJ, goes up to Paragon again actually, just like, I'm gonna send you my logo for my catering company. Can you put it on the screen? It's just like, but like why? Like this isn't a marketing event. Like, you know, your name's already on the menus. Like they get it. Like why does it need to be on the screen? Like no one cares. Like the couple's name wasn't even on the screen. Like why does like. I didn't want to name them, but like, why do they need to be on the screen? It's so unnecessary.
That's what I don't like about it. Sometimes is like I feel like it's then just becomes this marketing thing where I've seen people put like loads of their logos and like, and to be fair, sometimes we've been asked, they've been like, "Oh, send us your logo, we'll put it on," and I always say no because I'm like, it's really sweet and it's come from a nice place and it will be great, it's extra marketing, like amazing, but at the end of the day, it's someone's wedding, so like it should be, especially if they're giving you all this content of like pre-shoot photos, wedding photos and whatever, it shouldn't then be a list of all the vendors that are like included.
On that note, like that reminds me of a time, not to do with AV, but where like again the catering company, like I'm not atting catering companies, but they do some like
random
rogue stuff where they like brought one of those like banners that they put next to the food, but like but it wasn't just like wedding catering, it was like we do period parties, which is like a Tamil thing that they do, and like we do this, we do that. I'm like, we do kids' birthday parties. I'm like, this really cheapens the event. Like, why are you putting that out there? Like, put a little business card if you want. Like, the menus already have your name on it. Just why? Like, it's so unnecessary. It looks proper tacky.
But even with that, like sometimes when people put business cards on the like with the centerpieces, I'll go and remove them. Like, I'm not even trying to be savage, but again, this is someone's wedding, and especially because couples would have said to us, "Can you make sure there aren't any like cards or whatever out?" Like, and we've never done that. Imagine us just going and putting a pristine events card on every table. Like, it's just, I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like I don't think you should be.
Stop doing that.
I don't think that you should be using it as a marketing opportunity. I get DJs a little bit if you put your logo up for a little bit of it, hopefully not the whole thing, but I don't think the screen should then be used for everyone to just put whatever they want in there. So anyways, we digress. But like screens, I feel like I have mixed feelings about them. We've seen some really epic screens, especially in big venues like the Fairmont, and they look really epic.
I think if you're getting married at somewhere like the Fairmont, you have to have a screen.
Yeah,
because for the reception, right? Like again, it's a conference room. Like these conference rooms, they need something.
Yeah.
Or you're going to end up having to get your decor team to put something like really epic in the background because there's like a massive, like it's a big room.
Yeah.
It's a massive wall.
Yeah.
And if you're just having a stage and then like the sweetheart table, it can look a bit bare.
Yeah. Yeah. No, true. Yeah. No, I agree. I think I'll tell you where you don't need them. Destination weddings.
Yeah.
No?
Depends. I mean, to be fair, like, yeah, actually.
Well, mainly because a lot of the time you do it outdoors. And so I also almost sometimes feel like, does it not cheapen it, but does it take away from the natural beauty?
You know, we had screen.
Yeah, but we had it at our reception.
We had it at two of the other.
We had it because that was at our Mendy and Singit. But the reason I wanted it at those was because we had speeches that wanted to use, like, play videos. I wanted to play our civil video. Like, I actually wanted to make good use out of it, but I didn't want it at the reception because I didn't want it to take away from like The re
You.
me. No, I didn't want it to take away from the amazing decor we had and the theme and everything that we had. So that was why. And I feel like if we're doing it outdoors, you don't need it. Like we definitely didn't need it at our Mendy or Singit. The only reason we had it is because I knew everyone that was doing speeches wanted to use it to show videos. We wanted to show our civil video. So I think, yeah, destination weddings, I don't think you need it. Also, remember, it's always going to be a bit more tricky trying to build a screen outdoors in the middle of nowhere, electrical output and things like that. They are, you know what is really epic on screens?
Pre-shoots?
And I don't know, I feel like I'm testing.
Yeah, this is a snippet into life at home. Have you cleaned the cupboards? And what else have you done?
Hybrid me is fun. No, same day edits. They're really epic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. See, that's what I mean. Like, I think in the UK, like where same day edits are like more and more common.
Yeah.
I think you kind of do need a screen,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like yeah.
But I think, again, going back, not that we've spoken about budget that much, but just remember a screen's going to add a big chunk to your budget.
Yeah.
And so is a same day edit, because you don't just get it. Like, you have to pay extra because they sometimes have to bring an extra person
to like do the editing whilst.
And it's hard. Like, I've seen them and they're literally like in the turnaround and everyone else is having a break or just chilling. Like, they are literally like this, like they're stressed and then they're rushing. And then the sickest same day edits are when they manage to get bits of the reception and put that in. It's mad.
Yeah. Like Inception, like you're at the reception, but you're watching a video of you walking into the reception, and it's like literally just happened.
Yeah.
Cool.
It is really cool. But yeah, so that's screens in general. I think try and speak to your AV people about what the best thing to suit your room is, and start thinking early about what you can potentially put on there. Like we said, proposal pictures. A lot of couples use a proposal video if you have one. Speak to people doing speeches, because quite often they might want to use it for videos, and I actually quite like it when they put little.
Yeah, I think it's good. But on that note, I think like everyone thinks, and I used to think this as well. Like you just make something on PowerPoint and then you send it to the DJ, but like they're not like. The screens aren't operated on like a Windows system where they're just like open PowerPoint, play this on the screen. Like they have to like reformat it, put it into their program. Like they have to like send it to the DJ beforehand, and they need to like reformat it to be able to put it on the screen. And it's not just like, oh, here's my USB, plug it in. So just be conscious of that. But like you said, I think if you're getting a screen, make the most of the screen. Don't just get it for the sake of it.
Get your money's worth.
Yeah. If you're gonna spend money on a screen, then you have to spend money on a pre-shoot and then all these other things and a same day edit. So basically, it's not just the cost of the screen, it's everything else that you're then going to have to start paying for.
Yeah. And like you mentioned, please, if you're doing speeches, do not come up to us 5 minutes before your speech and be like, oh, got some surprise videos you want to put up, because like Nim said, it's not how it works. And the stress that us or the team have to go through, we're like running to and it's not the DJ that does it. They've got a separate team. They're often hidden behind this little like booth thing in the corner, so you probably don't notice them because they're purposely hidden. But we have to go behind there. We have to beg them. In the past, we've had to delay speeches before because they've just given it and it hasn't been reformatted and the sound isn't working because it's in a different format. Like, it's not an easy thing. So we always say, and in our packs, it's prompted saying, have you sent any screen content to the DJ? Please CC us in, because we've had issues in the past where the DJ say they haven't received it. So luckily we've got it and we can resend it in the turnaround. But please make sure whoever's doing speeches as well, even if it's a surprise, so they don't want to send it to the couple, like they send it to us, to the DJ, so we've got track of it, because it's not a quick thing to do. But a nice thing to do. I love seeing like home video style stuff, or like, you know, like the kind of authentic funny video, especially like groomsmen speeches when they include like, I don't know, like stag footage or whatever. Is always
if it's done well.
Yeah.
Have we spoken about speeches before?
Yeah, we have. But like a general one. Yeah.
Yeah, you just, because on that note, like you just also need to have somebody who knows the speech to be able to cue the AV people. Like, it's not as intuitive as you think when to play videos.
Yeah.
We digress.
Yeah, sorry. That's a whole different topic in itself. And the amount of time we've had to sit there, I've had to take pictures of the speech, I'm following it, then I'm cueing the AV people to be like, next slide, next photo, play this video now. Yeah, it's a lot. But anyways, all part of our service. Anything else?
Special effects.
Yes. Oh wait, can we talk
Can
we talk about rigging truss systems quickly, just really briefly?
Yes, another area of our expertise, truss systems.
It really has been recently with all the destination weddings we've been doing.
Yeah, but trusses are used generally in like outdoor weddings and the destination weddings, right? Like, especially for destination weddings where the area that you're using isn't normally constructed for a wedding. They then need to make a frame, whether that's a circular one or a square one, to then hang off the lights and sometimes like the draping and the speakers, etc.
And it can be a 2-in-1 because it can be a center point of your reception. A bit
Yeah.
like the one we did in Bodrum recently,
Yeah,
where
because it frames the dance floor, right? And then
yeah,
you put a dance floor in between, yeah.
exactly. And then you can, exactly, you said, you can drape it, you can hang like lighting and chandelier and foliage and florals off of it, but then it also carries your lights in your speakers. Yeah, and actually having watched them being constructed and taken down recently, it's mad. And like before, when you get quotes from them, you're like, what the hell? And then when you actually
Yeah, it'd
watch
be like,
it,
oh, it's £5,000, something like that to like construct the thing. You're like, what? And then you watch them do it, and it's actually like, it's very cool.
yeah, amazing. So something to consider if you are doing something outdoors, and particularly for destination weddings. Like we had truss systems for our Mendy and Singeek nights, like on
Yeah.
the dance floor and stuff. You do often need it, and it's another cost that you wouldn't have even thought about, and you wouldn't, when you're thinking about it, you're like decor, like florals or backdrops, you don't think about a truss, but obviously you need that when you're creating a vibe. So we can talk about that a bit more for destination weddings, but it's something to consider. And then special effects, which I love. What is your favorite special effect?
Oh, cold sparks.
Yeah, I like cold sparks.
Cold sparks, I think, and more, I think a lot of people are getting cold sparks. It's become one of those things, I think, where like if you don't have it,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, how come they didn't have,
Yeah.
like during the first dance or
Yeah.
the cutting of the cake, you kind of, I don't know, maybe the weddings that we do, but like I kind of expect to see it.
Yeah.
But the thing with cold sparks is, you need to decide when you want to use it. It's all well and good just paying it, but for the cold sparks, there's normally just like one time the cold sparks go off, but there's not that much. I don't know, whatever you call it, that like loads up the cold sparks. Like, you use it once.
Yeah.
So you either want it for, or I mean, you can, but I think you have to pay for it to use it
Yeah.
more than one time because of whatever fuels it. So do you want it for your cake cutting? Do you want it for your first dance? Do you want it for, I don't know, when the door players come on or like some other sort of form of entertainment comes on? You think about that. And then also how many you have as well, right? So if it's just 1, 3, 5, 7.
I don't think you should have one that would look really
I've seen it with one.
Really?
Yeah, it was really.
Did it look tragic?
Piddly, as you would say. Tragic. Yeah, tragic and piddly. One cold spark?
No, but I just mean for like symmetry, right? Like normally for a first dance or cake cutting, you'll have minimum 2 like on either side of you. Like where would you just put one? I guess right behind you, but I don't know. I think what's really important is the timing it goes off.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but that's what I meant. I mean, yeah, I was kind of waiting for you to go on to that. But like, yeah, if you're having it for your first dance, you're having it for your cake, but you then need to, like, it's not just good enough to be like, oh, I want it for like a good bit of the dance. You then need to like actually work out the timings.
I'm proud of you.
You go.
Well, yeah, like I think so. We normally ask our couples to have in there at the timings, and normally it will be like if you're doing or if you're doing a chilled first dance, and it will normally just be like the beat drop or the chorus. If you're doing more of a choreographed first dance, then normally our couples will do it like if you're doing a dip, if you're doing a spin at the end of the dance, if you're doing a certain like lift, that's a really good time to do it as well.
Yeah.
Another special effect that I really like is dry ice. I think it just makes it look like you're dancing in clouds, which is really special. So I love dry ice. One that I don't really, oh, by the way, dry ice, for those that don't know, is that smoky fog. It's like a fog machine almost, and it like creates this.
Do you ever watch Stars in Your Eyes? You know when they go into that room at the bathroom and they open the door and then all of that kind of stuff. It's like that.
And what
tonight, Darren, isn't it?
I don't know.
Tonight something. I'm going to be.
Yeah.
Iron Man.
I love that. I think it's really nice. I think it really makes it look like you're dancing on clouds. I think it's really romantic. What's that word? Ethereal? Ethereal. Sorry. I'm really tired, okay? It's been a long season. Yeah, I think it really looks like that. So
urethral.
Oh god. Oh my god. Anyway, so I think it looks really nice. So try and have that if you can. One that special effect that I don't really care about is haze. I don't get it.
Yeah.
And also, photo video teams hate haze. The amount of time they'll come up to me because they don't want to go up to the DJ themselves and be like, turn the haze off. It's ruining all our photos and videos. And the DJ's like, but it's creating a bit more of a vibe. And I'm like, listen, please just turn it off for a bit. They need to take their photos and videos. You can turn it back on when the dance floor comes on later. Like, I just don't think it does that much. So I'm not a huge fan of it. A lot of DJs will just throw it in, but I would much rather have the other two.
Yeah.
There's another one as well.
Strobe lighting.
I don't know if that's special effects, but that's quite cool.
What other one is there? Oh,
CO2 guns. That's it. How do you feel about those?
I think they're quite fun.
Yeah.
Like, it depends who you are as a couple, right?
Yeah.
I think if you're like quite a vibey couple, it's quite cool to like stand on stage. Yeah, I'm doing this. Yeah. But don't just get it for the sake of getting it.
Yeah.
But I think, if you're like a fun, vibey couple, I think,
It's fun to
Yeah.
do. Yeah, I agree. I think if you're not, not if you're not fun, but if you're not super confident, if you aren't going to be able to get up there with a
Yeah, if you
dance,
don't want to be the center of attention
yeah,
in
yeah,
the middle of the dance floor, then don't get it.
yeah, agree. But it can be, yeah, it can be quite fun. Yeah, I think they were all the main special effects. With them though, make sure you've checked with your venue.
Oh yeah. So like even with like the cold sparks, like first of all, there's some venues won't let you have cold sparks.
Yeah,
Some of them won't let you have it above a certain height, particularly
yeah,
if it's a marquee.
yeah.
Um,
And with dry ice, you have to turn the AC off.
yeah.
And
Yeah, you have to turn the AC off before you switch on the dry ice, because otherwise it just like disappears.
yeah, exactly that. And some venues also won't let you have it as well. It's quite cool seeing the dry ice happen because they have this like little box thing. Because I'm usually behind the DJ at this point because I'm going to cue them for the key parts of the song, and then they're like shoveling this. I think it's ice or some sort of thing into it, and then it's like transform. Yeah, is it okay? Fine. Then it's transforming into this. It's actually really cool to watch. So yeah, I have to check that with the venue. And haze, weirdly, even though I still don't get what haze is, it just makes it a bit like misty. A lot of venues don't let you do it, which is really weird. And like some couples have been like, I'm just gonna try and risk it and do it, but venues are really strict. The amount of times whether it's like sound limiters or special effects limits, I'll see them like run in and like with their little sound, what's it called, the decibel measure of it, and they're like, this is above it, you need to turn it down. Or with the haze, they'll be like, it's gonna set the fire alarm off, you need to turn it off now, we're gonna unplug everything. They're really anal, so don't risk it. Find out what you're allowed and then
But
just
the thing is, the risk, like this isn't just for sound and lighting stuff. This is for anything in a wedding. Couples will always be like, "Oh, it's fine. We'll just risk it. Who cares?" Because they're never, hopefully, going to get married again, and also use that venue, even if they were going to get married again. But it's the people who are actually
yeah.
performing, or the vendors, for example, whether it's the AV people, whether it's the entertainment who are playing after a certain time that they're actually been told they're not supposed to play after because of the sound. They're the ones who are going to get banned
Yeah.
and like going to get in trouble for it,
Yeah.
or us,
Yeah,
right? Like. You told them that they could go on, but we told you it should nothing should happen after 10 p.m.
Yeah.
And that's quite a difficult conversation to have and a balance to be made during a wedding event.
Yeah.
Where like things are running late, and then the couple are like, "Oh, let's just do it anyway," and then we're just a bit like, not that like this isn't our priority, but like we do want to do weddings again after this, so I'm not going to risk.
And you also have to respect rules, right? I don't want to sound like a neek, but like there's obviously a reason that they've put this into place. You don't want to be that like person that's just like F it, we're gonna do whatever we want. Like so it's difficult. So I think just try and plan for what you're allowed for and just stick within that. Anything else lighting wise? We've talked about room light.
The stuff, but that it kind of goes into more like destination weddings. Like it's not that applicable to weddings in the UK. Like for example, no, I knew what you were gonna say. You gonna say the pool thing?
No.
Oh. Remember the logo, the projection of the logo into the pool in Italy? I was actually going to say a point earlier, but you did your monologue thing.
I've done less monologuing.
Yes, less is still not.
No, well, you still said typically, so we're both working on our things.
And particularly. Typically and particularly. Yeah, so like projection of the logo into the pool was very cool. Or like into the night sky, like Batman.
Yeah, people have done that onto onto buildings, like projected their logo or like their wedding hashtag and stuff. So that's really cool.
Yeah, we should project our logo when people are coming in.
Shall we?
Yeah. So no to the screens, but like project our logo onto the building where people are coming in.
Hashtag planned by Pristine. I love that. No, that's cool to use that. Also, I was going to say, I know we can talk about this more in destination weddings, but if you are doing anything outdoors, even a drinks reception, and it's quite long, you could consider different forms of lighting, like bulb lights, string lights, fairy lights. It looks so pretty.
That's when, you know how we said like for breakfast and lunch and dinner or whatever, like you don't really need like lighting. I mean, like, that's the dinners in the reception room. But especially in destination weddings where like you might move to a different space and like have your meal there, like things like bulb lights and
fairy lights.
That's when it's important.
They look so pretty when it just starts to get dark as well. So I think that's a different form of lighting you may not have considered. And another thing, if you are doing anything outdoors, particularly meal related, you need to make sure there's enough light on the table, otherwise people can't read the menu, they can't see what the food is, which is really important, especially if you're a vegetarian and you're trying to figure out like what can you eat, what can...
Vegetarian lives matter.
yeah, that is my motto. But like, yeah, you if it's pitch black and you're trying to figure out what's what, like you need some table lighting as well, and often fairy or string lights isn't just enough, so something else to consider. But maybe we'll talk about this more in destination weddings, but just some additional lighting and food for thought. I think that's everything.
That is everything. That is everything we know about audio and visual summarized into 2 30-minute episodes.
Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed, guys. Hope it gave you some more things to think about and to discuss with your AV team and decor team. And as always, like, follow and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for listening.
Please like, follow, subscribe for more.